here is Rudy Giuliani.
Oh, my God.
I don't even know how to do this. This is Rudy Giuliani. I mean, this is sad. We've all seen this type of, well, not we all, but some of us have seen this in the context of, like, you know, their personal relationships with people. You see people really, really losing it. And here it is on TV on Fox. Here's Rudy Giuliani with Martha McClellan.
Now that he's busy tweeting campaign messages, I would ask him to do this. Listen to the scientists. Support masks.
What would you say to Joe Biden there?
Well, I would say to Joe that you don't really understand what scientists are. First of all, listen to your doctors, that's for sure. They know your personal history. Doctors really aren't scientists. Scientists almost always have competing opinions. That's what science is about. Science isn't a didactic, dogmatic religion. So, there's almost every principle of this kind of science, medical science.
Pause it for 1 second. I just want to remind you that the question was, what do you think about Joe Biden saying, wear masks? Listen to the scientists, wear masks. Rudy Giuliani is now talking about the nature of science. I want to remind you, because it's been almost 20 seconds since the question was asked, so you may have forgotten, because Rudy is already in, like, go ahead.
Almost every principle of this kind of science, medical science, has conflicting opinions. And for example, it isn't science to be wearing that mask, Joe, when you're giving a speech and the people are 30 or 40 feet away from you. The only thing you can affect when you're doing that is a teleprompter that's closer to you. So I see through you. I mean, that's a political statement to scare people wearing that mask. You do not need that mask when you're standing on a podium and nobody is within half a football field of you.
Well, he didn't have his mask on the other night at the debate, and I would imagine that
nobody put it on. But he put it on. But he put it on the other day, giving a speech where the closest person to him was probably 100 yards, and the thing was almost up to his eyes. That's political theater, Martha. That's not science.
I hear what you're saying, but just to play devil's
science,
advocate, he'd probably say, well, I haven't gotten COVID, and the president did, and he's not a big fan of wearing masks. I mean,
well, I haven't either, and I don't wear masks as much as probably I should. And I haven't gotten COVID either, and a lot of people on both sides.
Wait a second. First of all, I am quite convinced that there's at least social science that when a leader gets up and wears a mask during a speech,
that's right,
he is encouraging others to wear a mask. He doesn't necessarily need it in that moment, but he is functioning not as an individual in society. He is functioning as a leader of a country, or a would-be aspirational leader of a country, and he is projecting out, I am modeling behavior that people should follow, and I am doing something that may be overly cautious so that you get the message that that is a good thing to do for public health. And then Giuliani goes on to say, like, he's wearing a mask more than I do. I should probably wear it more.
But then he says it's politics. He says it's politics. It's political theater. This is all about politics. He is the one who makes it a partisan issue.
Right. It is political insofar as that we're talking about public health, and we're trying to, like, how do we convince people to adopt measures that are healthy for them?
Yeah.
So, like, and then he goes on to admit that he's not wearing his mask as much as he should be. Bang, 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 bang. All right, good. What an idiot.
And I haven't gotten COVID either, and a lot of people on both sides of that.
I mean,
what they claim is science is nonsense. For example, in my city and many cities, they allow Black Lives Matter protests without masks, with everybody right next to each other. But they don't allow legitimate parades.
Huh?
Well, you're telling me it's good science to allow protests?
Well, there's a lot of things that haven't been allowed that a lot of us feel should be allowed, and the lockdowns should end in a more forceful way than they have.
But they're the ones claiming they...
Oh, my God. I mean, Martha McClellan can barely... I think if you ask Joe Biden, do you think the scientists would say that you should wear a mask while you're giving that speech to protect the other people there. And you go, well, no, but I'm doing it to project the idea that people should wear masks.
Mm-hmm.
My God.
And then he turns into race.
I think Rudy doesn't even really I can't even figure out, who does he think he's talking to?
I think he's high. I literally think he's high on something. He was all over the place.
He was a little bit all over the place. But he did get to the essence of what science is, and that's important.
And it's that science is, Democrats only want science for the white supremacists, not for the activists. That's
Martha McClellan seemed a little bit irritated with him, didn't she?
Sort of. And then at the end, when he blamed BLM, she was like, okay, that's my safe space. I can talk about that a little bit.
Now we can do that. Yeah.